And welcome, folks, to another edition of Steady Droppin Dimes, brought to you by our friends at Underground Printing in Ann Arbor, original since 2001. That's how we get down. If you want to be dressed, if you want to be clad in the best maize and blue gear around, you need to hang around at the Underground. And as we've been telling you, this is the best time to go because that code, that discount code, Ben, can you put it on the screen for the people, please? There you go. Get 20% off at Underground Printing online or in store using code SAMWEB20. Code SAMWEB20 gets you 20% off your online or in-store purchases at Underground Printing. So that is undergroundshirts.com. That is South Main, Southview, or downtown. Those are their Ann Arbor locations. So again, that maize and blue attire, that's all of their items. That MGO blog, their commemorative issue that looks back at the last 3 years and the championship. You can use that code. Great gift ideas over at Underground Printing for the Michigan fan in your life. SamWeb20 is the code. And oh, by the way, that shirt that we talked about last week about those Buckeyes, they need to learn to lose. They need to learn how to take an ass whooping. Now, they didn't make that ass whooping shirt, but the learn to lose shirt that they're selling at Underground Printing. See, you can use this code on that shirt. You can't use it on custom items, but you can use it on that shirt.
But Sam, for custom items, I thought it was two strap Sam 20. What?
You can make a 2-strap shirt, but you can't use the code.
I thought for sure your code worked.
Nah, DZ, they say he from Flint, so they couldn't use 2 straps. It's got too many other meanings.
Oh, yeah, you're a little rough out there.
Like connotations to it. All right, folks. Underground Printing is the place to go. I'm telling you, they care about you. They care about us. They care about Michigan. Support who supports us. Support who supports you. Support who supports Michigan. That is Underground Printing. And they're Ann Arbor originals.
Hey, don't plant the flag in Ohio, though, because that's a felony.
Right. Learn how to lose. It all goes with it. They need to learn.
Hey, that's the softest thing I've ever seen done in the history of, like, you know what I mean?
Come on.
We're gonna make you a felon if you plant a flag. You know what you should do? I don't know what the stipulations in the bill gonna be or whatever. You should take the flag, wave it around, and then go, and then don't let it hit the ground. I didn't plant the flag. I didn't plant the flag. That'll kill him. That'll kill him.
Man, you talk about just walk around just broken. Just broken. Everybody around there walking around smelling like doo-doo because they soft as baby. You know what?
Oh, yeah.
And the whole damn state. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Gotta be kidding me, man.
That's tough. That's tough. That's a tough sell when your state legislature, starts to get involved in the lack of, shall I say, just hardness, right? Just lack of hardness. when your legislature start getting involved, that speaks badly on the whole entire state. That ain't good. That ain't good at all.
That's like your mama coming to defend you.
You don't even know how many Ohio State fans. I'm friends with a decent amount of Ohio State fans, and like it's so funny to see their stories on Instagram. It's like, all right, nah, that's too far. Even Ohio State fans are saying, "What are we doing?" You think you're appeasing the fans, and the fans are sitting there like, "Come on, man, what we got going on? Come on, you gonna prosecute to the extent of the law?"
So you gonna tell my mama?
Right. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? Charles came out, was like, man, okay. I'm the all-time great, and I went to Michigan, but I'm still from Ohio. I was like, come on, man.
You're embarrassing us as a state.
We can't do this. Like,
hey, Sam, but before we get started, though, while we all happy and all this, I want to make sure I get something out. You've been giving me the run around, the dipsy do, the old Flint shuffle, and not getting me my stuff. So I just want you to know that I don't need you no more. I don't need you. You see that?
Oh, so I can keep everything? I can keep it?
Yes, ma'am. I don't need you. Sam, I don't need you. So I got my turnover department gear. I'm loaded. Look at all this. Look at that. Hey, big shout out to Turnover Buffs. Nice handwritten letter full of love stating that Sam has been wearing my stuff all weekend.
Your stuff. It's still wrapped up.
Hey, where my stuff at?
I got you.
Hey, Will Johnson and family. Can I get a care package?
Coffee, I love you. Kaylee, Will.
I got your Jordans too. I still got your Jordans too. I was gonna send it all. I was gonna send it all to you to Christmas.
I don't need you.
So
man.
I wanted to get that out while I'm still happy because I know we got a guest in the background that I'm not trying to be here with. So I had to get that out.
So I can keep your stuff there? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I wish I could still get my stuff, but it is.
Nah, just put it in mine.
You're giving me permission. You giving me
I'm giving you no. I've begged for my stuff. I've seen you multiple times.
You just said
you claimed you had it. I've seen you multiple times, and there's no package in hand. Is all I'm saying.
I just said I could keep your. You just said I could keep the stuff, right?
No, I just said I don't need you, but it would still be stealing if you keep the stuff. And I know you've been wearing it on the weekend. You're already stealing it, but at least put it back in the package. Is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I have not. All right. Hey, Daniel, I will send you your stuff, brother. All right.
We don't need you. We don't need you, Sam. Thank you, Coffee. Love you.
Yeah, so proud of Will. So proud of him. You talk about a dude who came in with a bunch of expectations and lived up to them all. Man.
Dog.
Best DB in the country.
Unbelievable.
I don't care who play in Colorado. He the best DB in the country.
Come on, man. Lived up to them all.
And didn't even say many words. Hey, I've been knowing Will for a long time. I called his games in high school, as you know. I still don't know what his voice sounds like for real. Like if he just talked in the background, I wouldn't know. Like it was Will. I'd be like, "Who's that in my house?" Like, you know what I mean?
You got to know. Here's what you got to know. He talked more trash than a little bit. Don't let that soft spokenness or he don't say too much. Don't let that fool you. Don't let that Grosse Pointe South. Nope. Don't let it fool you. Man, so we were at the national championship game, and they were talking about Rome Odunze and how they was like, this might be the best receiving core in Michigan gonna see. And they were like that, right? And Rome Odunze, first round pick. And man, Will was like, listen. This was after the cameras left. He was like, hey, I just faced the best receiver in the country. All right. That dude made some plays. I made some plays. That's how that went. That was the best, and that was the best receiver in the country. Rome Odunze is not about to get down on me. Let me tell you that right now. He's not gonna get down on me.
Yeah,
did Rome Odunze get
down on him? Toes down.
Did Rome Odunze get down on him?
No, he did not.
Not at all.
No, he did
not. He did not.
Not at all.
He called his shot and went out and was the MVP. He went out and was the MVP. So that dude is, hey, don't let it. No, he ain't. He's not bashful, Will. Now he put in the work. He puts in the work. Watches a boatload of film. He watches film like a coach. Like he's up. Like he's doing the Pilates in the morning. Like he's like this dude has been preparing like a pro even before he got to college. That's how I know he's going to be successful. As long as he has luck on the injury front. Like, you know, that's the stuff you can't control. Like now, like him being injured has nothing to do with lack of preparation. It's just the luck of the draw. That's how that works out. So, man, so unbelievably proud of that dude. You know, watching him run around as little 7th and 8th grader. And now it's like, man, look at this dude. Look at this dude. He's like literally one of the best to ever play at the University of Michigan. One of the best to ever do it. And you step in the door and it's like, hey, you want to wear Charles Woodson's number. Like you're like, okay, you're already a 5-star. Plenty of pressure.
If they don't retire it now, it's a problem. Right? It should have been retired, right? He shouldn't have got the opportunity. He should have had to go to Charles and say, hey, man, let me, even though, you know, you did it anyway. I'm saying, like, let me bring it out of retirement. It's ridiculous that it's even able to be worn anymore, but we're going to pass over that. Now, it definitely, for two people, it should be retired. Nobody should be wearing 2 anymore unless they come to Will and Charles, both, a group meeting. I'm talking about group FaceTime, not just one-on-one. You got to go talk to both of them and say, hey, man, I want to, you know what I mean? Well, and they probably going to say, let me see your spring. Get busy. Let me talk to the coaches. And then you get a chance. But you shouldn't just be giving out that too from here on out.
Oh, man. And he came and said, yeah, I'll wear it. Yeah, I'll wear it. And still balled out. Like, man, that
Mr. Wood, Mr. Johnson, you think I could, that's how I should always start. You know, you gotta have a little crackle in your voice because it's greatness you're speaking to. Mr. Wilson, Mr. Woodson, and Mr. Wood. You think I could? That's how I need to be. A lot of nervousness in your voice.
Hey, when you just look at it, like some dudes, when you watch certain sports, some dudes just look the part. You know what I mean? When you look at him, like just coming down to like that's a ball player. You know what I mean? Like some guys just look the part. You know what
and
I mean?
The boy's smart, and he's smart. He's smart. He wasn't smart enough to give me my package directly, and he gave it to Sam. But he's smart. Look at that. Look at this bright. Look at this gear. He's smart.
I like that. I like that he's a guy who didn't rest on the fact that he's blessed with God-given talent. And like you said, he's real smart. He could outthink a lot of the dudes that he's on the field with. Like he can outthink a lot of the dudes that he competes against too. Yeah, like he could just show up and beat some of these dudes. Like a lot of guys that you compete against gonna be late. A lot of dudes you compete against are not gonna know the playbook. Like
a lot of dudes in this age, they're gonna be too cool to go hard.
Yeah,
a lot of too cool to give it everything.
I tell you what, a lot of dudes that you compete with are not gonna watch as much film as you.
Yeah,
but he does all that. He's gonna train harder. He's gonna watch film like a coach. Right, he's gonna do all the extra things, and he's blessed with the God-given talent, and he has the confidence and the swag to go with it. Like he checks all the boxes, and so that's why, like this dude, when it comes to if you're a team, you're a GM, and you're looking at a draft and drafting a corner high, this dude is going. He is a can't miss guy. When you're talking about picking a corner, like teams debate, do you draft the corner high? Will Johnson's can't miss guy to me. It's just a matter of people are going to look at the injuries. This is luck of the draw thing. This is not, it's like injury history. That I see scouts talking about that. Man, it's crapshoot. These type of injuries anybody could get. Not the kind of injuries that come from lack of preparation. So dead all that talk that they have. This dude is going to be a ball player in the NFL. Just go check his tape in the biggest games. And that's the very last thing that I'll say. Check his tape in the biggest games that they played. Ohio State, Big Ten championship game, national championship game. When the stage was the biggest.
Get him, DG. RAC. Get him, DG.
What?
You see what bad? Hey, I thought DG was about to get on his block. We gotta.
I haven't got a chance to look in there, but you know,
we got a block candidate talking crazy.
Yeah, people are crazy. What they say? What they say, Daniel?
I don't even want to repeat it.
No, I think you should.
We gotta talk about the future, and we gotta talk about what's gonna happen on offense for the Wolverines as a new offensive coordinator is coming around. And we brought to you a list of guys last weekend, right? And this was there are a lot of names thrown out, but we like to have a curated list when we were finally able to get around to it. Now, you got to understand, Sharon Moore had done his due diligence already. He was well into talking to guys by the time I put out a list, but this was a curated list.
I would hope he was talking to guys by week 4.
Yeah. This is a curated list. Like these were legit guys. And so we were first to report the name Chip Lindsey last weekend. And by the end of the weekend, there were basically top 2. And Chip Lindsey and Jason Candle were kind of like, those were the top 2. And then eventually Chip Lindsey was the guy. And he's soon to be named the OC. I guess it's all about dotting the I's and crossing the T's at this point. And so we have maybe the at least in our orbit, the guy who knows the most about Chip Lindsey.
Don't you bring him on here. Don't you bring him on here. I don't care about your little soliloquy. I don't care how smoothly you were getting through it. If you bring that man on here, I am out of here.
He mentored Chip Lindsey.
I'm out of here.
When Chip Lindsey was a high school coach. He worked with Chip Lindsey as an analyst when Chip was an OC down at Auburn. And when Chip basically agreed to take the job, he called this man and said, I'm coming to town. He said, I'm coming to town.
No. Don't bring him on here. This is our show.
Right.
He do not come on here.
They say, wait a minute. Is he coming? Look at him. They're anxiously anticipating this.
No, we are not. We will not speak that name.
Like, oh, he's here.
No.
Look at him. They're anticipating his arrival. Look at him.
I'm leaving. When you lose me, then you lose me. Daniel, take it away.
That's right. And Gorgeous Al Borges coming to the stage.
Hey, I got one. Get him back on here. I got one question. Hey,
I don't talk to you.
Listen to me. Where's my stuff?
Sam got it.
No. Look at that. Sam got it.
Them look like turnover buffs anyway.
Hey, I got another question too. Do you get a little crackle in your voice when you talk to me? You know, when you talk about like greatness, all that. You were mentioning that earlier.
Why was he even allowed to watch the show before he came on? And why is he so close to the camera? Does he understand?
Did you say a word like soliloquy? You never said soliloquy when I coached you. Where'd you get that word? You start getting a couple Emmys and start looking at your syllabus or what? Not your syllabus. What is the thesaurus? The thesaurus. Yeah. He's got a thesaurus in his back pocket that he pulls out every time, and he pulls one of those words out of his holster and he throws it at you to make him sound smarter than he actually is.
Listen, before you got on here, this was a smorgasbord of gorgeous, handsome men. And now look at us. This is just garbage.
Where's my stuff? I just want to know where my Daniel. You get your stuff? I want
my stuff. Hey, Coach, if you wait, you're going to be waiting forever, man. I'm telling
you. Because Devin took it all. That's why. I know it. I knew it.
Make sure. So listen, I guess we got to put in a request.
Request?
To turnover buffs for Gorgeous Al Borges.
Oh.
Because we know the ladies love Al.
Oh, you gotta get something to cover up that head.
Yeah.
Hey.
Get that head off the camera.
Hey, Sam, the other day I was in my car and out of nowhere, Siri came on and said, I'd like to get to know you better. Holy smoke. They just won't leave me alone, Sam. It doesn't matter. They're all over me. Siri. Now it's Siri, for goodness sakes. I don't know what Siri looks like, but she got a good voice. I know that.
Hey, man. DG got these people thinking I'm just hoarding turnover buffs now.
You are.
Your stuff is still wrapped up.
Hey, Borges, he been wearing it on the weekends. I know you be seeing him wearing it. Just let me know.
That's not true.
Hey, I'm going to rewrap it in case I see DG this week.
That's what he be doing. He going to rewrap it.
Oh, God.
That's
I don't know, man.
All right. So, Gorgeous Al Borges, Chip Lindsey, soon to be the guy that will sit in the seat that you sat in. Here's the irony. Before he was named, Devin, I had people saying, can they get Al to come back to be the OC? I said, ain't that
yeah, right.
Wow.
That'd be a great optic, wouldn't it? They ran that sucker out of town in 13. They're going to bring him back. Are you kidding me? Half the fan base would turn face around.
Hey, Rich Rod just went back to West Virginia.
I know.
Scott Frost just went back.
He didn't come back to Michigan, Sam.
hey, what'd you say, Borges? Ain't no coming back once you get rid of that Michigan. Ain't no coming back.
You get one shot, you screw it up, move on. Right? Yeah. That's it.
But Chip Lindsey was one of a group of guys that, if you look at what Sharon was looking for, guys that would kind of maintain the core of his offense, which if you look at what he went for defensively, I'm not looking for you to blow up what we do. But I think on offense, I think he's looking for a guy to come in and go farther than what a defensive coordinator was going to do. All right, maintain our core, which is the run game. Maybe tweak that a little bit, but I really want you to expand the menu passing wise. That's what you kind of see with the group of offensive guys, but he really settles on Chip Lindsey. Take it away and tell us, first of all, your background, relationship, and knowledge of Chip, and then what we can expect that he will bring to the table as a coordinator.
Yeah, I moved to Alabama when I took the Auburn job, and I think it was my first year, but it all kind of runs together these days. But during spring football, Chip showed up as a high school coach, and like so many high school coaches do, particularly in Alabama, because they're really ambitious about football. Just kind of hung around, asked questions, blah, 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 and I always, because I was a high school coach, I always kind of embraced them, and so that was my first association with him, okay? And then he went on, he got into college football, I think, as a quarterback coach at Troy, and then went back to high school football at Spain Park, which is a big high school. It was a new high school at the time, but it was big, and it was a place where I think you could build a winning team there. But he went back and then went back to college in 2013. He went to Auburn as basically as an analyst, an offensive analyst. And then after that, he kind of went to Southern Miss. I kind of lost touch with him. I didn't really see him too much. But the bottom line is, after Southern Miss, he came back to Auburn with Gus Malzahn. Okay, now I came on with Gus in 2017. I was there for a year, not even a whole year, but and Chip was the offensive coordinator when Gus offered me the job. I didn't even know that, But then I came in, and there was Chip. I go, yeah, I'm the coordinator. I go, God, this is awesome. I got familiarity, you know what I mean? Because I didn't really know that group that well. I knew they were way after I had coached there. So, but I really got to know him well. And I sat right next to him in the booth. We'd sit down and talk about third down situations. It was all the stuff, that analysts do. But you really got a feel for how he works, what he does. And what was good for me was that I got a chance to, I'd always been so entrenched in my own offense for years. But when I went there, I got a chance to learn some other stuff, which was kind of neat. You just hearing other ideas, other ways to do stuff. But the funny thing about Chip is he had his passing game and all that. He by his own admission, he'll tell you he got a lot of stuff from what we did at Auburn. He's branched off, done his own stuff too. Don't get me wrong, but it was a natural because we could talk and be able to communicate in their system, not my own system, but in their system, and be able to shop ideas, bounce stuff off each other. It was just great. I mean, it was really a fantastic deal. And then from there, he got the head coaching job at Troy. He got his chance to do his own thing for 3 years, went back to USF with Gus for just 1 year, and then ended up in North Carolina. But I think the evolution of Chip Lindsey, and I'm going to talk about some of the things I think he brings to the table more than anything, is as a high school coach, learned a lot about the passing game, probably favored passing a little bit, but as he's coached more now, has really become a very balanced guy. And I think once he becomes entrenched in the Michigan way, that'll take another step, okay? But what he's going to bring, I think more than anything, is nuance to the passing game. And Devin will appreciate this, I think, as much as anybody. Some of the things that I know we talked about, and we thought some that might have been missing, they could have done better. Chip will fill some of those voids. I think he'll do a real nice job with that. He's been, for the most part, an 11 personnel guy, although he does have 12. He's used it now. It's not like that's not there. But I think you're going to see probably more 12 because that suits Michigan's personnel. But he'll develop that 11 package as well as anybody could because he's used it a lot. And one of the big things about it outside the passing game is I think the one thing Michigan probably needs to improve in their run game is their outside running, in particular outside zones, okay? And Chip's run that a lot. He knows it, and I think that will be an addition that will really be beneficial. The screening game, he won't hesitate to call a screen pass, okay? That's part of his culture. You're going to see more of that than you have seen.
Naked pad. The one thing I can hear is this is a guy who's from beginning to where he is now. It's a collaborative guy.
Yes.
Right. So he's not the this is my way and this is how I do it and this is the way you're going to do it. It seems like he's a collaborative guy. Right. So, right. Contrary to what you maybe Michigan experienced a year ago, everybody will have kind of opportunities to poke and put their ideas in to what they're doing, which is kind of what, everybody loves Ben Johnson with the Lions. That's who he is, right? A lot of what you see is just because it's so collaborative. Even Andy Reid, who collaborates with the players, right? So I think in this day and age, you have to be that way. But not only do you have to be that way, it's the best way to be, in my opinion.
It is. And if I had one word that described him the best, that works right in with that thinking, is he's extremely flexible. And he has great player relationships with the people he coaches, and not just the quarterback, but quarterback's probably the most important because he's a guy you're with the most, and he dictates your fate the most. But he does. He's wonderful with all the guys and the coaching staff. He will be, the minute you meet Chip Lindsey, you're going to like Chip Lindsey because he's that kind of a guy. Okay, but he is very collaborative. Like I said, he'd bounce ideas off me. I'd bounce ideas off him. He'd go into the offensive meeting. Herb Hand, who was our line coach, they would collaborate on how they wanted to run the football with a nucleus of plays. Now, they weren't hodgepodge every week, but
of course.
Generally there was a certain nuance to the run game, which is very common to Michigan because that's how they play. When they're at their best, they are very, very nuanced in the run game. There's always something a little different without completely leaving the room, if that makes any sense. The downfield passing game, that's another thing, which I think has to be developed if they're going to be as good as and when they were good, that's what they were good at. He will. The overall consistency of the passing game, I think, is going to improve. Okay, it's got no place to go but up because it wasn't very good a year ago. But
no place to go but up.
No, well, I think I'm not being too clear. When you throw for 136 yards a game, that's just doesn't unless you're an option team or a triple option team. That's just not today's football. You've got to be able to throw better than that. So I think he will contribute in that area probably more than any area.
Nice. Yeah, a couple of things really stand out. So toward the end, it's down to Jason Candle at Purdue, not Purdue, but it's Toledo and Chip Lindsey. And I think as your quarterback, as you're watching this from outside, and what is Sharon as he's evaluating these two guys, you're knowing coaches who know these guys, you're thinking to yourself, man, Sharon's going to have to be careful to not be so blown away by the impression that he gets from Chip in the interview. Because Chip, you knew just from talking to people who know them both, Chip's going to interview better than Jason Candle.
Yeah, Jason Candle not big interview. Like, he kind of more reserved. Like, he's not going to have that big old personality. You know what I mean? He believes in what he does, right? But he's a solid guy, though. Solid guy, solid coach. But he's not going to – I wouldn't think from what I know about him and spending time, he's not the blow you away in interview guy.
Yeah, so you almost as Sharon. And I think we gotta talk about for a second. I think his interview process, Al, I think he crushed it. Because I'm just talking about how he proceeded. I think he had in his mind well in advance, I'm moving on from I think he knew weeks ago he was going.
Oh, you talking like week 4? No, I'm just saying, right? Borges, that was about the time where you were like, yeah, it's probably going to be a new coordinator next year, right?
Oh, stop it.
That's what it seemed like, right? No?
So
nobody's denying it. I'm confused.
Yeah, so he knew he was going
to
make.
I knew you're going to get this, Sam.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to get this.
He was going to make a change. He effectively conveyed to his quarterback recruit, I'm going to do what I need to do to change the offense. He started formulating in his mind what he wanted to do as far as this is what I'm looking for. He started sort of piecing together some candidates and knowing that I don't want to necessarily make any other changes on my staff. And then, okay, who are some guys that could come in and augment what I want to do? And then by the time he actually makes the move at coordinator, he's ready to hit the ground running with these guys. And then when you get to the final two, like you got to have in your mind going into it, Al, okay, I know one of these guys is going to blow me away in this interview. I got to not sit down and come out of this interview and say, I'm going to hire this guy right now. And he didn't do that, Al. And I think that was the reason why.
Yeah, and I don't know Jason Candle, but boy, I do know some people that do know him, and he is really a good football guy. He'd have been a very good pick, you know. But Chip has that good old boy, you know, natural little charisma to him, and then once you start talking the football, his stock goes up. Okay, so those two things, you know, those two qualities, personality coupled with the intellectual end of it.
Isn't that the most scary thing, even for you, Coach, when you were, you know, getting position coaches together, when you were coordinating, like the guy that you have a beer with, right? And it's just like, man, this is really tricking me into thinking that he should be the guy, but maybe the guy that maybe you just don't relate with as far as outside of football, maybe that is the guy. You know what I mean?
Sometimes.
So that's tough.
Sometimes.
That's a tough thing to do when you you really enjoy being around a guy, but maybe he's just not the guy for the job, and the guy that you just didn't hit it off with is probably the best guy, maybe sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it is. And that's why, you know, when you bring a guy in, you gotta have him. You know, I want to say something that I thought was really great that is on what Devin's saying is when I interviewed at Oregon with Mike Bellotti back in '95, he would have all the coaches do something with the candidate. Okay. So one guy pick him up at the airport, bring him back. Another guy would take him to lunch. Okay. Another guy would spend a few minutes with him just talking about ball. And then another guy would take him to dinner that night. Another guy would take him back to. So then when it was over, see, he didn't make any fast decisions, and he'd usually bring in a lot of guys. So he'd bring all the staff together. And when you bounced it off all of them, some of that stuff Devin's talking about got filtered out. Yeah, you know, he is a really good guy. Man, I talked ball with him at dinner, and that sucker's on it. He's on it. He may not be the most charming dude. So you got all this input, and not one guy telling you something would dictate the decision, but a collaborative effort. You usually could pick the guy that was the best fit because of all the input, rather than just bringing a guy in, one guy talking to him, he charms the hell out of him, you got the job. You know, that just, I don't know if that's the best way.
Yeah. And I was impressed, like, because I actually think that at one point.
Because if you meet Al Borges, you're obviously not going to hire him just by him. Right? If it's just him, like it ain't the ball stuff. If it's just him, you're not going to hire him. And
I'm an acquired taste, Devin.
But
I'm an acquired taste.
Personality, it's trash.
Yeah, I think there is some ebb and flow, because I actually think there was a time where Jason Candle was kind of trending a little bit more in this race, but not to the point where, hey, Schrone's not going to throw. He's not going to be impulsive on him either, because you look at his offense and there's some things that are really appealing about what he does, but not going to go all hard on him, because there's some reservations there as well. Them being two that really stick out. And I wrote about this. One of them being he had shown in past situations where he was a candidate. At least this is the rumor. Like he was rumored to be a target for Ohio State when they had a coordinator search. He was rumored to be a candidate in Miami during their coordinator search. He is thought to be a really good offensive mind, and he's been sort of stuck at Toledo trying to get a higher level head coaching job, but haven't been able to get him. Maybe the step would be go be a Power 4 coordinator, but he has not been willing to leave, so the rumor says. So if you're Sharon, it's like, hey man, would you, if I offer you this job, would you be willing to take it? Like if I put it on the table right now, would you take it? Now I can't say for certain that the rumors are true that he was reluctant in those episodes. That's the rumor, that he was not willing to step away from Toledo for Ohio State and Miami. I don't know if that's true. That's the rumor. Yeah. In this particular instance, that I can say it's fair to say that he was still deliberating. He was still pondering whether he was willing to step away for a coordinator opportunity. He had not sort of made that up in his mind yet if he was willing to take that step.
I mean, to be completely honest, the way Toledo plays offense is not truly in lockstep with the way Michigan plays offense, right?
I said the same thing.
And it's because the thing is, you've seen a proven product that works, right? Offensively, right? Being able to control, run the football. Not to say that Toledo doesn't run the football. They run the football well. But in the passing game where you're looking for that development, I don't think that the way they pass the football is conducive to success with the way that Michigan will want to pass the football, right? Just and just specifically, right? I feel like it's more of a air raid style. Rather, it's almost like how you get Phil Longo at Wisconsin. It's just not really working. The personnel, the way you do things, it's just not quite the fit that you want. No matter how great a football mind you are, it just doesn't seem like it will work out.
I said the same thing. I think he could do it. Don't get me wrong. I think he could blend, but it would have been the most drastic change. I think of any of the candidates that I saw. But that doesn't mean anything. I've seen those guys come in, blend offenses, and do just fine. Okay?
And that's my question to both of you, though. And I wonder if that was part of the appeal for Sharon. And this would be it's water under the bridge now. But the disparity, maybe that's part of the appeal. That this guy is so different. Maybe there's an opportunity there for him to really tweak what we do from a passing perspective and marry it with what we're doing. I mean,
that could definitely, in hindsight, that could be attractive. Of course, yeah. And I think you give kudos to Sharon Moore for not allowing that win. We have to wait to see how Chip Lindsey plans out, of course, but it will probably be a lot of kudos that goes to Sharon Moore to say, hey, I believe in this product. I believe what we do. We don't need that much tweaking, right? There are a few nuances that we need to improve upon, but we don't need to pretty much overhaul what we do. And more power to them.
All right. So then this is the other piece that was part of the why you don't jump in both feet with Jason Candle right away. Just like you don't jump in both feet right away on the Chip Lindsey. Like you continue to do your due diligence. Is the other piece that you look at with Jason Candle is, okay, quarterback development. He's a wide receiver by trade. He was a QB coach for 2 years. It's not to say that he can't do it, but hey, maybe
it's not his thing.
Is that his thing as much as it's Chip Lindsey's thing? Because, Chip Lindsey is, he has more of a record with quarterbacks. And on paper, he looks like he's much more. He's a much better candidate in that regard. And with some more digging, this might be the separator. And just when you're getting ready to dig into that, you get a call from Drake May. And I wrote about
I thought this was interesting. I talked about this I thought this was interesting.
Yeah. So I got a real good source on this and said Drake May called Sharon Moore and basically says, this is the guy you need to hire. You need to hire Chip Lindsey. And here's why. I went from Phil Longo, who was my OC before, to Chip Lindsey. And I was a better quarterback for having Chip Lindsey as my coordinator and quarterback coach. Now, the stats, and this is what some fans were saying, the stats would tell you otherwise, because I had better stats under Phil Longo. Now, there were other reasons. I mean, you had Josh Downs, and who's the other dude? Antoine Green, who plays for the Lions. His top two receivers went to the NFL. His offensive tackle went to the NFL. That's a part of it. But he said, it's not about the stats. He said, you go from the air raid and Longo. He said, but man, I wasn't.
ID in the mic. Understanding protection seriously, knowing where you're hot from, knowing where your guys are free from, allowing yourself to protect yourself before you even have to throw high. All those things are just not what the air raid does. You go fast, you kind of just it's almost like a trick 'em kind of offense, and it has a lot of really nice qualities. I'm just telling you, it's really, really nice. However, right, playing the quarterback position, in my opinion, you just can't truly. It's hard to develop a quarterback through that system and get them to do all the things they're going to be asked to do at an early stage at the next level, right? And I think that's what it's all about, right? What guys want to go play at the next level, how can they be best prepared? And I think that this would be a better choice as far as that, developing a quarterback and raising them up the way you the way I think he should be raised up to play at the next level.
Yeah, so Al, he was talking about, going whole field reads, reading coverages. That went to another level under Chip Lindsey compared to when he had Phil Longo as his coordinator.
Yeah, it makes a difference now. I mean, coaching pro-style offense as long as I did, there's just so many intricacies that go into it. Devin mentioned pass protections and such, and that type of stuff, and hot principles and all. Not that they don't have.
What about
those,
in the run game too, Coach?
Yeah, running at certain techniques, checking plays from one play to another. The flexibility quarterback goes through the roof when they understand the offense well, particularly in pro-style offense. So it's just so many things that are different where, when you're transitioning, there's stuff that is more relative to next level football. Okay, but you can amass some great numbers, and those pass offenses are deadly. I'm not underselling that. I'm just saying that it is different, and I think that's probably what May was saying when he talked about Chip.
And the cool thing is with the pro style offense, right? When teams get prepared for it, you still can have those elements of the spread air raid. You can have some elements of that, especially running the quarterback, different things like that. And I think it puts you in a better position. Just like I remember the Notre Dame game when we come out in the whole first half, we're pretty much just under center, play action. And then we go to a dive, a read option and stuff. And I'm running out there by myself, right? Because they're all packed in and they've watched this play for so long. And it's like, wait, you have this too? Right? So it just adds another element, especially with Bryce Underwood, who's a guy who can hit the home run as a runner, right? Yes. He doesn't show it a whole bunch because of it. He wants to be a passer and is learning to play from the pocket. However, you have the ability to do that, right? And then when you use it, it's always huge. It's like the academies. Right? Why are they averaging 46 yards per completion? Well, it's because they run the ball, and then it's a big surprise when they drive the ball down the field out of their run sets.
Yeah, man, it seems counterintuitive, and I'll just to emphasize this point because someone in response to me writing this said, his stats were not as good. I just don't understand how you could take that to mean he was better. How could he be better and his stats were?
Well, there's some huge drop off where it didn't look anything like it. It'd be different, but just because you passed for more yards doesn't mean you were trained better.
Sam,
okay?
I've tried to get you to stop listening to people who don't know what they're talking about, and they don't know what they're talking about. But the thing I'll just tell you, I know what you're doing. It makes for great TV. It makes for great, because when you bring up just garbage like that, where they don't know what they're talking about, you're going to get me going, and that's when the numbers go up. But I'm not letting you do it.
No, I'm asking you to educate the people who are uneducated.
Let Borges do it.
They can't.
I'd rather you did it. It's a lot more fun to listen to, man. And you come up with those words like soliloquy and stuff. This is awesome.
That is not just about the stats. That there's a game behind the game. And Drake May's point was, I put up all those stats, but I was not prepared for the pro game. Chip Lindsey came in and prepared me for the pro game.
Yeah.
When he came in. It's totally different. Totally different.
I got another thing, Sam. I think you guys will find. Chip called me 2 nights ago. I won't say out of the blue because I talk to him 3 or 4 times a year.
And viewers, just so you know, he's old, so that could have been 14 nights ago.
We're not sure. No.
Not sure.
Might have been.
We're just not sure. Could have been 2 years ago. We don't know, but go ahead.
I'm seasoned. Okay, I'm seasoned. So now it's a problem being an old guy. You can't get back to your train of thought, and he's just a guy that knocked me off my train of thought. But anyway, he called me a couple of nights ago. Okay, it was a couple of nights ago. You smart ass. But anyway, okay, he was all fired up to get the job and everything. I says, okay, Chip, I just want to tell you something. Okay, I did this job. Okay, and he says, Al, I'm trying to work on getting every job that you used to have. So I said, well, you still got a few more. You got a ways to go, but you're getting there. I said, well, I'll tell you about jobs I used to have. Okay. When I coached at UCLA, it was awesome. It was in LA. A lot of people were watching. We were on TV all the time. It was great. Then I went to Auburn, 90,000 people in the stadium. It was great. I loved it. But let me tell you something, Chip. When you coach at Michigan, God is watching. Okay?
Sure.
He doesn't. He just checks the scores on the other game, but he actually watches the Michigan game. So every call you make will be scrutinized to the umpteen. Okay, just understand. Now you know that you've done this long. I've been telling you, but this is big boy football at its highest level, and you'll do fine. You'll do great. I have complete confidence in you. But it is on the deep end of the pool. Let's just say that.
Did you tell him you're just gonna rip his offense to shreds every single
Oh
week?
yeah, I told him. I said, I do podcasts. You're in trouble.
You're in trouble because I'm watching every single second of every single snap, and I know I've graded every single player that you sent out there, and I'm gonna rip you to shreds.
Oh God,
but I love you.
You and I.
He's the type of dude. Just by talking to Al, like you could go and sit down and talk to him.
Yeah, he don't.
Yeah,
he ain't one of those dudes. He ain't one of those dudes.
He's securing himself basically.
He's pretty secure. Yeah, he's competitive like we are, but he's just a good dude. I mean, naturally likable guy. Okay. Yeah. Unlike you, when you walk in the room, everybody shudders.
When Sam walk in the room, can't nobody stand him. But when I walk in that press box and I scream,
I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to Sam. I was talking to you. Okay, just so you know.
I thought you said Sam. My bad.
Well, Gorgeous, we appreciate you. I know you're used to spreading your gorgeousness around town normally during this time of day. So we're robbing the ladies of Ann Arbor.
Man, I go from the camera
we're robbing Daniel of his time to talk, okay? Because
I'm enjoying listening, Coach.
You're enjoying listening, man. You're a glutton for punishment, man.
I'm surprised Daniel ain't watched with his eyes closed because he's sick of looking at you so close to the camera. Back up.
I fill up the room.
Coach about to go hit Whole Foods.
Yeah. So listen, and it's key what you said that he can come in and adapt because it's a lot of coaches, they want to bring in staff members with them. I'm sure there'll be an opportunity if he wants to bring an analyst with him that he might be able to do that potentially, but the rest of the staff looks like it's going to remain intact, and he's the kind of guy who could do that. Mm-hmm. Sounds like Al, and that's not a small thing. That's not a small thing in this equation.
You got to be a little bit of a chameleon. You're right, Sam. You're right. You got to be a little bit of a chameleon to make that work because every staff's got a little different dynamic. But if you're the right leader, it usually works out.
Yeah.
Well, Al, we appreciate you. We appreciate.
Yes, we do appreciate you.
You appreciate me nothing. What are you talking about?
And we appreciate you even more for going. All right.
We appreciate Susan even more.
Tell Susan I said hello, by the way.
I would love to tell you this was
she loved me, but she loved me.
Yeah, I would love to tell you that this was really a pleasure, Sam, but it wasn't. So I'm checking out.
All right.
Do you know how, old man? Do you know how to check out, or do we have to just take you out?
Feel free to take me out.
Yeah, see, the people appreciate Al for coming by.
It's all propaganda. Don't worry about it.
These are all my relatives right here that are doing this.
Thanks, Al. People love Al coming by. So appreciate it.
Make sure y'all watch.
But,
Al has a fan club. Think about that. What if these people were around back in 2012, 2013?
I don't know, Sam. I don't know. They probably were around, but they had a little different image of me. I don't know.
Different perspective, I think.
I told you they love you till you call a play.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Al Borges.
See you guys.
See you, Coach.
That gives me a chance to talk a little bit about before we get to our next guest, who we'll hopefully get rounded up here shortly, to talk about a whole state that needs a little lesson that you folks can help us teach them. We can convey this message visually, right? We can be a walking lesson to them, a walking reminder to them, a walking illustration of the lesson that they need to learn. They being Buckeyes, they being the state of Ohio. Because you see, these last 4 years have broken them. It has disrupted their souls, their spirit, their sense of self. They're already not too bright. So, they have trouble understanding. And so we need to remind them on a daily basis that they need to learn to lose. And our friends at Underground Printing are going to help us teach them that lesson with their latest offering. That is right, folks. Our presenting sponsor, our official sponsor here, and Steady Droppin Dimes. Our friends at Underground Printing in Ann Arbor Original since 2001. This is their latest offering. They got to learn how to lose. You see that shirt? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it grand? Doesn't it just give you that warm feeling inside? Doesn't it make you just feel like planting a flag somewhere? Doesn't it make you feel good? Doesn't it make you feel like serving up some act right to a whole state? 4 years, and they still haven't learned a lesson. So you could wear this every day. I mean, not that you would wear the shirt every day, but imagine if every Michigan fan had this shirt in their closet, and you wore it, and a different Michigan fan wore it where somebody from Ohio could see it all the time, and have a reminder that you got your ass kicked 4 years in a row. Wouldn't that be great? That would be awesome. If you have this shirt already, you should buy another one and send it to a family member. Send it to a friend. You should have a whole collection of these shirts. Matter of fact, you should buy a shirt and send it to a Buckeye. You should remind them that they need to learn how to take an ass whooping. Don't try to make laws preventing ass whoopings. Ass whoopings should be a part of growing up. See, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. See, when I was growing up, I got my ass whooped by my mama. And then, I got it at school. Then I got home and my grandma whipped some ass. And then I got home and mama whipped my ass again. So that was part of growing up. So you understood what it was to get an ass whooping. The whole state of Ohio don't know how to take an ass whooping. So when it happens, they want to create a law. Well, folks, we can help them solve that problem with one shirt. Thanks to our friends at Underground Printing. They got to learn to lose. This is a great offering from our friends at Underground Printing. You can get yours by going to undergroundshirts.com. Again, that is undergroundshirts.com, or any of their locations in Ann Arbor. That's South Main, Southview, downtown. And guess what? That discount code still works. It's going to work through December 31st. Use code SAMWEB20 online or in the store, and you can get 20% off. That is an unbelievable deal. So any offering, not just that shirt, any offerings in the store or online, you can use that code and get 20% off. Great gift ideas at Underground Printing, right? So a Michigan fan in your life, or if you're just getting something for yourself, use that code and take advantage of it while you can, and enjoy all the offerings from our friends at Underground Printing, and help out a Buckeye because they need it. I'm feeling kind of generous right now. How about you guys? That's a great one right there. The commemorative award. That is a great one. That book is outstanding, and it covers not just the championship year, but the 3 years. So the 2 years leading up to the championship, because they're right. I mean, you can't get to the championship year without the 2 years leading up to it. So they track the journey leading up to the title. It's a great commemorative book. Sam Webb 20. Boom. Great gift idea right there, folks. Undergroundshirts.com. Underground Printing is the way to go for your Christmas gift ideas, or anything that you're looking to get for the Michigan fan in your life, or any of the offerings from Underground Printing. Go to undergroundshirts.com, or any of their physical locations here in Ann Arbor or across the country for that matter. They have 28. I think there are 28 locations across the country. You can find out all of their physical locations by going to their website at undergroundshirts.com. But the Ann Arbor locations are downtown, South Main, and Southview. So take advantage while you can and use that code. Don't forget, SamWebb20 online or in the store. The Kobe Nichols said a Flint ass whooping was different though. Yeah, they made us pick our own switches. They make y'all pick your own switch. I thought that was a little. See, I thought that was kind of borderline. I kind of thought that was abuse when you had to go pick your own switch.
Definitely had to pick my own switch before.
Yeah, man, come on, man. That's about that. You got to pick the own instrument of your demise. That's just a whole other level.
Hey, switches, extension cords. I got whipped with a lot of stuff.
Come on, man. You know, Ohio clearly doesn't know anything about that. Like you ain't had to pick your own switch.
If they would have had to pick their own switches, they wouldn't be acting like this. I don't think.
Clearly, nobody taught them anything about ass whoopings. They do have to learn to lose. They lucky they didn't let me design the shirt because it would have said something different. Clearly.
Hey, to be honest, you get your ass whipped in my house, you can't come in the house. Hey man, go back outside until you win. All right, when you win, then you come back and don't come back in this house.
Man, I can't believe it. And you would think somebody from Ohio State would say, "Come on, man, come on, y'all making it worse. This makes it you get your ass whooped, and then your mama come up to the school and say, "Oh, please leave my baby alone."
That's what it basically is.
Or they go up to
Mama's soft too.
Your ass, and then your mama want to fight for you. Don't that make it worse? Like, you embarrassed.
That's what I said, man. I got Ohio people that live in Columbus, people that, firstly, they can't face me. Devin Posey. Firstly, they can't face me. And then when they do, they just like, man, it's too far. They taking it too far. Okay, we lost. Let's just focus on going to trying to win a national championship. Why are we making laws? It's just like your mama coming up and trying to fight after you done got whooped one-on-one. It ain't like you got jumped, right? You got beat up one-on-one.
Yeah, he did.
He can't save you. This law can't save you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Oh,
it is.
I couldn't believe it. I thought it was fake news. I thought it was something fake.
I thought it was too.
I could not believe it. I still can't believe it.
I can't believe.
Sam, all the things you said have all come to fruition. You might be Nostradamus. I'm just telling you. Because you've been pumping this, and I've been kind of, because, I can't be all talking crazy about people like that. But you just been on this all this for a long time. Even before.
Hey, and the national media didn't pick up on
it. And I think it all started with you, Sam. That's why they can't stand you. You started talking about how soft they were. And everybody, like Daniel just said, the national media picked up on it, and now that's the narrative. And I really kind of don't love the narrative word these days because people just use it so loosely. Right, that ain't the narrative. That's the truth right now, right? And all the things you said, Sam, you are prophetic. You ain't no prophet, but you do have prophetic thoughts and moments. I'm just telling you.
Hey, in his office, Ryan Day, it used to be Jim Harbaugh that he throw darts at. That's been moved. It's not even
all
Sharon.
Sam Wood.
It's not even Sharon right now. It's Sam. Sam attacks this man.
It's your fault. Sam did this.
Sam attacks this man like I'm talking about. Hey, sometimes I'll be listening to Sam. I'll be like, Sam, if I was Ryan Day, I'd be looking for you, dog.
We gotta see you. I know you're gonna play, but I gotta see you.
First of all, this the dude who came out talking about we gonna hang 100 on Michigan.
He did start it.
That was Ryan Day, right?
Why did he say that? That ever since then,
he the one came out saying he wanted all this smoke and what he was gonna do to Michigan. Okay, so that's number one.
Hey Sam, time out before you get going. The last 4 years, have they equaled 100 points when you add all the games together?
Doesn't look like it.
Not yet.
Doesn't look like it.
Nope,
hasn't.
That's tough.
Number two. I think the dude's making $10 million a year. Why are we feeling sorry for this dude?
Oh, not me. I don't feel sorry.
Where's all this sympathy coming from? Like, why? Oh, it's just so tough on him. Tough. He's coaching football. Not well, but he's coaching football. Why are we crying?
Now, Sam, I see. That's why I got to say, I tell you when you're wrong. He is coaching football well. It's just not against Michigan.
One team, yeah.
He's not coaching football well. It's not hard to coach Ohio State when you got 5-star you got 5 stars everywhere. Urban Meyer came out and said, this is the best team I've seen in 15, 20 years. You don't have to be that good a coach. This man, you think about it, he just, you know what he did a couple years ago? I talked about this. He just had some dudes that I could just have anybody out here coaching. This tell you what he thought. He thought, I could have anybody coach. I could just go get anybody. I could let Kerry Combs coach my defense. I could still whip y'all. That ought to tell you something. I'll tell you something, DG. And then he realized, he said, okay. It's not like that. I actually gotta go get some dudes who can do some X's and O's things because they about some things over there. All right, let's go. Oh, but that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Oh, these dudes really about it over there now. I might have to make up some stuff. I might have to make these people really think, oh, they really cheating over there. These dudes think that, oh, yeah, Michigan cheated the last couple of years, and that's why they beat us. Okay. See, they had y'all believe in that. That's why y'all thought Michigan had no chance to win this year. So now y'all really up a creek. Oh, so see, well, there's no excuses this year. Well, if y'all hadn't have bought that BS the last couple years, this wouldn't be such a shock. It wouldn't be so much shocking all this year. You see, y'all bought that garbage about, Connor Stallions, the signs. Man, last year, Sharon Moore was coaching the game, not Jim Harbaugh.
And the year before that, Ohio State claimed to have changed their signs.
Sure, that's right. And no Blake Corum in the game.
That's tough.
Lest we forget, in your house.
That's multiple games, multiple years where Michigan ain't got their best players.
Right. In your house.
Ooh.
In your house.
That's tough.
And last I saw, it was your defense that was getting eviscerated. Your defense on blown coverages left and right. Left and right. That don't have nothing to do with the sign.
Getting so blocked that a guy's scoring an 80-yard touchdown without being touched.
Nothing to do
with
the
a run game.
Like they're talking about the signs, and that has nothing to do with the signs. You went and got a Big 12 coach to stop people. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. We're gonna go get a hooker for a wife. Wow. Unbelievable.
Sam, what you gotta be stopped.
Wow.
This is crazy.
He's a menace. He's a menace.
Hey, so now you see why I say I'll be looking for him, right?
You gotta be looking. You know what? If Ryan Day pull up on you, you gotta do what you gotta do. I ain't jumping in because I'm talking crazy about this man.
I'm trying to figure these dudes' logic out. Y'all letting this wild logic fly. I'm sorry. We need to get to our guests. Y'all the ones got me wound up on Ohio State. They the ones letting that.
Hey, hold on. And after all of that lead up to this year's game, Sam had the whole. By the time the game started, he got the national media regurgitating the word pucker.
Ooh. They heard it here first. Sam was the first. He originated that slide. And if anybody tell you any different, they telling you dead wrong. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm out of here, y'all. Platinum, take them home. We gotta get to our guests. Come on, Zeke. Come on, Zeke.
Hey, let me text Zeke. Zeke, I don't see his camera. Zeke, if you're on camera, there's Zeke. Let's bring on. So let's talk about.
This has become one of my favorite players, by the way.
Hey, man. So we were talking about the matchup. We were talking about the matchup. So they got number 4 out there. Number 4 is maybe the best freshman receiver I've ever seen. So you never heard me say that they didn't have talent. You never heard me talk about their players not being tough or being like that. They are. And said, hey, here's what I know. I know that on this side, you got a dog at corner. And I know if Michigan say we're going to go cloud to that side, and you say, guess what? We're going to walk number 10 up. I know we got a young fella from North Cali who ain't going to be scared. I know he going to be up in my man's grill. I know we going to be about that life.
Mm-hmm.
And since he went to corner, you talk about how the defense has changed. A lot of people thought the defense was going to go downhill as number 2, one of the best to ever do it. Here went out. One of the saving graces of the defense has been the ability of Zeke Berry to go over the corner and help solidify the position. Young brother, I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it.
For the
Hey,
job.
I never seen his face. I didn't even know what his face looked like. Call the game. I only see him in the helmet. Good to see you, man. You got a face. You got a good face. You can be on TV one day. Look at that.
Too.
Yeah, man. Went out there and represented. So, ladies and gentlemen, Zeke Berry joins us here on Steady Droppin Dimes, the pride of Concord de La Salle. Started out the season at nickel, moved over the corner in a pinch. And I feel like, Zeke, I don't know what the future holds for you position-wise, but I feel like you went over the corner and found a home. We're going to be able to reflect over the entire season. But let's just start there. How comfortable were you when you made the move? And how comfortable are you now? Because, dude, I feel like you're a corner now.
He was getting busy.
No, yeah. I mean, the first time, moving the corner, I was actually talking to my coach. We was talking about it. He was like, we don't know if Wills are going to play. I think it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday practice. And he told me, like, how comfortable would you feel like playing corner? And I was like, I mean, whatever the team needs, like if we need somebody to play that position, like I'll be the one to do it. But I mean, when I first started, it was something kind of new. I had to get familiar with being on, the end of the field, being a little bit deeper compared to nickel. But as more reps I got, I mean, I started to feel a lot more comfortable, and playing in the games, getting a feel for, what I could do best at corner kind of made me feel more comfortable the more I'd done it.
So it's not like you didn't play. Man, when I remember coming out to see you at De La Salle, man, you play receiver. I think I saw you play some running back. You play some linebacker. Thought I saw you play safety. I don't remember seeing you play corner. Did you play corner at all in high school?
No, I didn't play corner at all in high school.
Yeah, so this was new, man. Now, did you volunteer for corner, or did they come over and ask you could you play? How did that all go down?
My coach, my DB coach, Coach Morgan, he came up to me and he asked me, or he was talking to me about like, we don't know if he's gonna be down or be able to play. And then he said that he asked one of my teammates that Zeke might be able to play corner. So he asked me like if I would feel comfortable, and I told him whatever the team needs, I'll do it.
So Zeke, I gotta ask you this because I remember, similar scenario. Word round tree goes down. I'm on the bench. I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to get busy at this wide receiver. Somebody, please. I need to play. I'm that guy. I can't just be watching these games. This is crazy, right? And so, but I remember, right? I was getting busy in camp, spring ball, all that, right? And then, but when the game came, though, it's just that feeling of uncertainty a little bit, right? Even though you prepared and you've been doing good, I'm sure in practice, whatever. But take us through like what you were feeling that first opportunity out in on not on State Street, right? On Main Street, your first opportunity at corner. You said you haven't played in high school. I never played receiver in high school, right? Talk about what your organic thought process was and how you were feeling as you kind of embarked on this new journey for the first time and on the highest level.
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe my first game at corner was the Oregon game. And from that time, that was going to be like the best receiving corps that we've seen throughout the year. And me playing a new position. I mean, like you said before, I was a little hesitant on like certain things, it being a new position. But I just try to trust in my technique, all the things that we went over during the week, and just make sure that, that I'm getting done what I need to get done, so I can help out my teammates on the other side of the ball.
Man, first game at corner against Oregon.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Right. Hey, remember my first receiver game? We was playing Bama. I'm like, come on, man. You can't ease me in there, please. What's going on?
Hey.
D. Miller on the other side. He is 6'3" corner. I'm like, come on, dude.
Hey, no warm up. No warm up at all.
No warm up.
Right into the fire, man. Right into the fire. But went out there and handled it, man. And so here's the other thing. And I talked to Vance about this, Zeke, but you're in it from the experience. Playing nickel versus playing corner. From the outside non-player side of this, it seems counterintuitive that you could go to corner and play better quicker there than playing nickel better quicker. Why could you go over there and transition to playing at a higher level faster? You know, why was that a faster transition than, say, nickel? Because, you know, as Vance explained it, he was like, hey, man, you just don't understand. You know, his explanation was corner is the physical demands are higher because you're one-on-one. But nickel, there's so much coming at you. There's so many things you have to process.
You're a linebacker, you're a corner, you're a safety, all wrapped in one.
Yeah. So can you explain it from your perspective though? The how, the why, you know, you can transition to playing at a higher level quicker at corner than say nickel.
No, yeah. Just like you said, I mean, nickel, there is a lot of things going on. Like, you know, I got to worry about where this guy is, and like if I have emotion, I have to figure out where he's gonna be at when he stops. I got to communicate to the linebackers, safeties, corners, and even the DN sometimes. So it's a lot of things going on that you have to think about in a split second at nickel compared to corner. But there's also like a lot more space at the nickel spot that you have to cover, which makes it a little bit harder for some guys.
That two-way go across the field, or you go wherever, like you don't know.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that you should have chosen to play offense, but whatever.
But yeah, I mean, from that, that's just some things that, you know, being a nickel that you have to, you know, kind of be good at. And then corner, you know, you got another defender to your right, you know, or your left, which is the sideline. So, I mean, it's a shorter spot on the field. So, I mean, I feel like that kind of helped me in a way, you know, just to think about that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's you and number 4.
Mano and mano.
Right. Now you might have somebody over the top, but it's still you and number 4. So, you know, there is that. There's the physical demand that is mano a mano more often at that position. So there's a physical demand to it. I gotta ask, you know, I feel like based on your experience, now you could do either. Now you could probably do either at a high level. Moving forward, once you get out of this year, do you have a preference going forward?
A preference? I mean, I wouldn't say I have a preference. I mean, I just like to play football. I mean, like I told my coaches and teammates, I mean, whatever they need me to do, no matter what position, safety, nickel, corner, I mean, I'm willing to do it.
Zeke, you know what? I got you, man, because I know, you know, you got to be a team guy. I'm gonna just speak, you know, like like Obama's anger translator. I'm gonna be Zeke's translator right here, real quick.
All right, Zeke, setting you up.
I done told y'all what time it is, man. I done came out, I done did my thug thizzle at the corner, and you know what the money like. The safety corner money is different when you get to that next level. I'm locking it down. I'm only improving. I can only get better from here. My first game was against some dogs, and I've been dogging ever since. Stop asking me. He hold me. I'm still getting to the ball carrier.
Hey, DG auditioning for a new role. DG the agent.
Yeah, I told you gonna set you up. Gonna set you up.
So Zeke, I'm calling y'all game against who did I have y'all have? Who did I have him against? No question.
Yeah.
And so obviously all season double moves been kind of getting the corners and whatever, right? And they run double and you all over it, right? And this is kind of the difficult part about playing corner. And then the quarterback throws a terrible pass. He throws a terrible pass, and the dude slides down and catches it. What are you thinking about when you was all over it? It's about to be a pick if you throw a good pass, but then he slide down, catch the ball, and you looking like, come on. What are you thinking when stuff like that happens?
I'm just like, I mean, I can't really do much about it. I mean, I was in phase with the receiver. You know, I was right to his hip. I mean, and the ball is just a bad thrown ball, and I guess he just makes a play on it. I mean, sometimes those things just happen, and it's just.
I was frustrated for you.
Yeah, I gave it up. I didn't want to give it up, but I was like, next play mentality.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through? Can you talk us through that PBU against Ohio State? Just talk us through that play and what you saw and how you made it.
Oh yeah. Throughout the week, watching film and stuff like that, they've been they'll always to the boundary. They will always try to high low the corner, and most of the time, the quarterback would throw the high corner 2-4. So I was just waiting for that play, and once I seen his splits and his alignment and who else was next to him, I just knew that once he came out, I had to play high low with the route concepts, and then once I seen the ball thrown, I just broke on it and broke it up.
Hey, Zeke, so the fans don't get it, right? They don't understand how much goes in. They think you just strap it on and go out there, right? Yeah, just go out there. Oh, yeah, we lifted weights, we ran, and then we went out here. We watched a little film. But the way you just described that, it's like, I've been waiting on this all game, and I know what they're going to go to, and it puts you in a space of comfort, right? Do you sometimes wish you could convey, right, with athletes getting all these platforms, do you wish you could convey the difficulty in your kind of everyday what you face to make sure you're prepared for those moments? Because I really truly believe fans think you just strap it on and just go out there and start playing football, when you just outline, and that's just one isolated incident, but you outline how much detail and how much it goes into before you even put on the uniform to be ready to play.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot more that goes into it than just showing up to practice and go home. Like it's more than that. Like, for me, I get to the facility, we usually have meetings, stuff like that, and then practice, and then after that, you got to get your body right, make sure your body right for the game, watch film, and for me, it just depends on how many hours I want to watch for that day. But I watch film like every day throughout the week just to make sure that they don't catch me slipping on anything that I know that's coming.
Man, I want to come back around to that, but I also want to highlight that Zeke, this year, when you hear us talking every single week about one of our sponsors, one of our presenting sponsors here on Steady Droppin Dimes, is Golden Limo, who we tell you will get you to your destination on time, every time, whether it's your airport transport or game day transport. On time. Just like they do the Michigan football team. They ride on Golden. You see those luxury motor coaches, they are riding on those Golden buses, and their brand ambassador this year, last year it was Will Johnson, and he passed the baton. It's only fitting. We didn't know how fitting, and I wonder if Sean Duval was just perfect. I mean, it's almost like the owner, the CEO of Golden Limo, it was like he could see the future. He didn't know that he was handing the baton to the guy who was going to be stepping in for Will down the line. But that's exactly what he did when he went from his brand ambassador last year, which is Will Johnson, to his brand ambassador this year, which is Zeke Berry, who is his NIL ambassador, representing Golden Limo and the excellence that they are. I'm just curious your experience riding on the Golden buses, getting you guys to your locations on time, every time, all the time, almost to the point where you almost don't think about the travel. They just take care of you guys wherever you got to go.
No, yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, just being able to be on the bus, with the guys and not having to worry about, our transportation or stuff like that, but just knowing that we're going to be there on time and every time. So, I mean, it doesn't really come to mind like that for real.
Yeah, I wish I was you, man. You and Sam, y'all got that priority. Like, hey, man, give me a party bus. It's just me, but I need a party bus, man. I need to get where I need to go on time every time. And so, but I want to be in style. I want some music. I want some lights. Sam want his Pellegrino waters.
But Zeke, when you think about who you're going to align yourself with from an NIL perspective, I imagine that one of the things you think about is aligning yourself with companies that are consistent with the things that you value. And in this instance, a company like Golden, safety, reliability, professionalism, all the things that knowing you for as long as I've known you, things that you represent.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they, like you said, I mean, they go about their business, you know. I mean, it's they're level-headed every day. I would say like how we go about our business, you know, in the facility, no matter what you do, no matter if it's football or, you know, any things you have to do throughout the facility to get your job done. I mean, I feel like they're intact in that.
Yeah, and I see it all the time, and you know, seeing them and their support in the community. You know, I've seen them support different initiatives. I know they did some things early in the season. They sent some buses or a bus down for Alex had a community drive that he was doing down in Detroit, and Golden sent the bus down to support him with that. And so they have all kind of community initiatives that they do. They had the community initiative that they were doing in Ipsy, like the deal that they did last year, where they sent some kids on a shopping spree at Puffer Reds. They had the support of Will Johnson's toy drive here in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Just always giving back to the community and the community support, the things that we see Golden doing, engaging the community, giving back to the community, and supporting Michigan NIL, the things that we see them stand for and continue to support. One of the reasons why we are such staunch advocates for not just because of the great service that they provide, but also that they are great stewards in the community as well. The things that we like to represent here too. So we say, make sure that when you go through Golden, you check out, you mentioned the Golden Ticket when you do, because we plan on getting together in the postseason, Zeke.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we plan on getting together in the postseason at that golden ticket party, that golden limo party in the postseason.
Oh yeah,
and hearing about some of those experiences you had firsthand, because you get on those buses, man. Y'all riding in the lap of luxury on those buses. Yeah, you know the drivers. Y'all get to know the drivers.
I mean, yeah. We be chopping it up sometimes. I always say what's up to them, dap them up, make, see how the day going.
Hey, Zeke, you say everybody got to wear seatbelts on your bus, huh?
Yeah, everybody got to wear seatbelts.
He say strapping everybody got to wear seatbelt.
Now, do you ride the same bus every time, or does it just get mixed up all the time? Do you get the same bus, same driver, or do y'all mix it up?
We get the same driver. I don't know about bus though. They might switch it up from time to time, but same driver.
Okay, so you get the same driver, so you start to get a little relationship with your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Which is cool, man. Yeah, that's the other thing. The drivers, you start to get to know the drivers and guys or
drivers always early, always
always on time.
Yeah, every time, and safe and reliable. That's something you take for granted. Like if we take it down to a different level beyond the buses, and you're talking about the individual drivers, you take it for granted with Uber. Like these just regular Uber drivers are just you and me.
Yeah.
Golden drivers are like drivers. This is what they do.
Yeah.
Right? They're hired, vetted professionals that are, they are licensed to do this. Right, monitored, know routes, and are evaluated and have safety records. It's different.
This has been so much better now that we got like a good guest on. We had Borges earlier, Zeke, and it really brought down the whole morale of the show. And now you here, we good. Like, because I was miserable, so I'm good now. So I want to say thank you. You know what I mean? Turnover department, everybody represent. Let's go. Because that last segment we had was garbage.
All right. Hey, folks. So listen, we want to get back to pointing ahead to this bowl game with Zeke. If you have ground transportation needs, make sure you book through Golden. Go to goldenlimo.com. And when you do, go to book using the Golden Ticket, goldenlimo.com/golden ticket. When you do, that will get you in the mix to be selected to attend this Golden Limo postseason party which will be on I believe the party is on the 30th. All right. And so a lot of special guests. We're going to get the ambassador. Get the ambassador to the party. We're going to get some mobs. We're going to try to get some other players in there. Going to try to get the Dimes crew.
Now that Borges is going to be there, I ain't coming. I ain't coming if you come.
Get the special guests up in there. Have a good time. Reflect upon the season and look ahead to spring ball. It's going to be a special postseason. But your chance to be there too is booked through Golden Limo using the Golden Ticket, and you can do that not just here in Southeast Michigan, but anywhere through Golden Limo's partners. You can use Golden Limo services anywhere in the country and even abroad, which we experienced when we went to Rome and Paris. So goldenlimo.com/golden ticket. You can also give them a call, and I should have the number memorized by now, but I don't. And so you can give them a call at 734-668-8282. Again, that's 734-668-8282. Now, Zeke, we were talking a lot about preparation.
Yep.
I remember talking to you in the preseason, and you were like, you were looking to take your preparation to another level. And I wonder who you were talking a lot about Mikey, and kind of getting habits from him. Like his preparation was on another level. Did you kind of get sense that your preparation was kind of getting to that level? Because to me, I look at Mikey, I look at Will. Those are guys that to me from the outside look like they prepared on like a pro level.
Yeah.
You think you got to that level, and did I have that right? Were those the guys that kind of set the standard?
They for sure set the standard. I mean, my preparation has gotten a lot better than what it was in the past. But I mean, just being able to like ask those guys questions, like after every practice, I'm bothering Will. Like I'm asking him after every series, every time I come off the field, go to the sideline, I'm talking to him. I'm talking to Makari, Q, Levert Hill. Like I'm just talking to the guys to like pick their brains and just to help me out to get better. But I mean, I feel like the questions that I asked them have put me in a place to get better each and every day.
Yeah, man. Makari going to nickel. You go in the corner and Makari going to nickel. It felt like your game went up a notch or several notches. It feels like Makari's game went up several notches too. So from your perspective, what about Makari going to nickel? It felt like he just really started balling out at that spot.
Yeah, I mean, he looked natural at it. Whenever he was at practice, I would just see the way he would move at nickel, and I was just like, bro, look like you a nickel and not a safety. I mean, he's been balling though. I mean, he had a hell of a year this year. I love that guy, and he's just been a big brother to me.
Yeah, it's been good to really, really see. So was there a point in the game? Was there a point in that game against Ohio State where y'all, as players, the coaches had their own perspective on when they felt like we got them? Now that it's over, was there a sense that you had in the game where you felt like, oh man, we got these dudes? When did you start feeling like that?
I would say it was halftime. When it was halftime, I would say that's when we all knew, and me included. I was like, oh yeah, we got them for real. Like it's not gonna be no cakewalk for them like they think it is. But that time, yeah, I was like, we on their ass.
No, come on, Zeke. I'm your anger translator. Come on, man. I'm your anger translator. Come on, man.
This
translation, we pretty much knew what we was getting into to begin with. We really ain't respect them for real. We knew that it was gonna come a point that we're gonna have to plant that flag, right? But we just had to go the normal go about it, right? You gotta play the game, right? You know. But when we walked in the house, I said, "They ain't got it. Shit, get the flag warmed up."
Hey man,
we on there.
And then after the game, they want to fight and was getting
got whooped.
Was getting dealt with. Okay, not that I'm advocating fights.
Obviously, you got to defend yourself. You got to defend yourself.
But they were getting dealt with by everybody. Now it's one thing to get dealt with by KG and Cam Brandt. But what are your DB mates Quentin Johnson was
I
out
knew
there.
you were gonna say that. That was the video I was already thinking in my
God,
mind.
busy.
He was
And
out
the
there
dude
serving
tried to
trash
sneak
fries.
attack him too.
Yeah.
Man, power slam that boy.
You can't sneak attack somebody and then get dealt with. That ain't it. Come
Hey,
on, man.
so tell me this. Like I said, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah.
We are celebrating fighting.
Mm.
University of Michigan, we are celebrating fighting,
You're
but
celebrating defending yourself.
celebrating defending yourself. But were y'all sitting around watching the tape, seeing how well guys were defending themselves?
I mean, I feel like people was watching it just to see like what was going on because there was so many bodies and so many colors all mixed up. We didn't know what was going on, but I mean, yeah, just watching to see what people was doing.
Like, who was really about what they was talking? Like, who was really okay, I know you're good at football, but when I'm in a dark alley and I need you, what can I count on you for? And obviously, you got a bunch of dudes you can count on, especially in that DB room.
For sure.
Yeah, because you don't really know. Like, you can expect Zeke. You can expect Zeke. Like, you know Zeke, Oakland, you can count on Zeke. But some of these you don't really know. Now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know. It's like, okay. We have figured it out now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can roll.
Hey, like Lethal Shooter, we understand it now. I think Ohio State understands it now too.
Oh yeah, we should. I don't know.
Man, yeah.
Oh,
so as we look ahead, Zeke, and you see some of these young guys, so we feel like you learned a lot from watching some of the older guys last year, and that was a time of transition for you heading into the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can kind of see some of the growth of some of the guys behind you. Kind of tell us who we should be looking for as we head into this bowl prep, because this kind of feels like the time where some of those young guys, it's an opportunity for them to ascend in practice and maybe start to get a few reps in the bowl game.
Oh, yeah. Some guys I would say for sure. One, B Hill, Brendan Hillman, and that guy. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw how he did in Indiana, but
Yeah.
That guy, he a baller. He a baller. He see ball, get ball, and kill whoever got the ball. And I would say Jair Hill. He's been making his move up. Another guy, Mason Curtis, safety. He's been doing good. He's been doing real good. And then one more, I would say Cody Jones. Being coming at the nickel spot. I feel like he's gonna get his chance to show what he can do.
Yeah, I do wonder as well. You guys heard, because you're going to have a lot of newcomers, a lot of these early enrolled freshmen practicing with you. When you heard that Bryce Underwood committed, how did you react to that? Because I know there are a lot of guys like, man, this is a big deal for the program. How did you react when you heard the news?
I mean, yeah, I felt good about it. I mean, I actually watched some of his tape, his quarterback tape, and I was like, oh yeah, he's a guy. And then when I heard he committed and signed, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
You said I'm gonna be the first one to pick him off in practice.
You always got to step up to the challenge, but when you have number one player in the country commit, that sends a message and sets a tone.
Oh yeah, it do.
That's definitely a positive sign for the future. But I gotta end this like I started it and saying, man, I'm beyond proud of you, Zeke. I'm not. We're not supposed to play the whole favorites thing, but I don't do what I'm supposed to do often.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's me that don't do what he's supposed to do. Don't be trying to steal my stuff.
I don't do what I'm supposed to do often. I'm proud of you, man. It was
appreciate it, man.
To really see how well you were able to earn the starting position, had some adversity, weathered the adversity, really started balling at an exceptional level, and not even at the position that you started at. And man, now, I mean, to hear everybody talk to you and talk about you, it's like the sky's the limit, man. That's unbelievable. So I'm proud, and I know your family is way even prouder That goes without saying. So way to represent, young man. Way to represent.
Zeke, just hit me up when you want to be angry. You got something you want to say. I got you, man. I'll take that bullet for you, man.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I'm going to hit you soon, probably.
Zeke Berry, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot, Zeke. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
That's Zeke Berry. Again, we like we say, the golden limo, brand ambassador, golden limo will get you there on time, every time. Hey, Ben, do you have that track, by the way? Can you drop that track for the people?
Drop that track.
If you have ground transportation needs, get to your destination on time, every time with Golden Limo. Ride like the Wolverines. Feel like a Wolverine when you ride with Golden Limo, the proud transportation partner for many of Michigan's sports teams and the primary transportation provider for Michigan Wolverines football. All you have to do to book your Golden Ticket reservation is go to goldenlimo.com/golden ticket or call their team at 734-668-8282 and mention Golden Ticket to book your transportation reservations today.
Yeah, man. I'm proud. And I went to see him, his family. He came all the way across the country. And had a lot of options on the West Coast. A lot of options to go back home in the day and age of the transfer portal. Said, "No, man, I'm gonna stay here and compete." And did it. Won a spot. And is thriving. That's big. Super proud of Zeke. So big time. Let's talk some basketball, Daniel Horton.
Yes, sir.
Basketball. So we're gonna pick up on a topic that we have visited before, and I'm gonna ask you in even more pointed fashion. Just how good is Danny Wolf? Now, we have sort of broached this subject before. He continues to play at a reasonably high level. He's getting double doubles on a fairly regular basis. I know they just dropped this game to Arkansas a couple nights ago.
And he was a rebound and assist away from a triple double, though.
Yeah, it was to me, it was a game where you would have liked to have seen both he and Trey Donaldson be more assertive. We can kind of talk about that, but specifically as it relates to Danny Wolf, I feel like, Daniel, the scouting reports on him were off. I feel like they didn't accurately depict his skill set. Either that or maybe they just didn't sort of prepare us for, hey, be ready. Let's just see if what he can do at the lower level will translate. Because he's been better than I expected him to be. And so I will put to you, how good is this dude? Because he's doing things that I just did not think he was capable of doing in even a playground sense.
So let me ask you, what is he doing that you're seeing that's make you ask, that's make you say, okay, so I can talk better answer your question.
I tell you what I thought he could do. I thought he could hit a three.
Okay.
I thought he could shoot from three. And then as far as this whole face up four thing, I thought the pick and roll thing was a gimmick. I thought, yeah, he could come off a screen and maybe make an occasional pass, but I didn't think it would last past a couple non-conference games. I didn't think he would be able to, as much as they have, come off a screen, leverage the defense, make passes. But not only that, pace and space routinely to the rim. If I got to finish at the rim through contact, I can do it. Get to the rim, whoop, whoop, reverse layup. I can do that. I could back you down. Yeah, fade away.
Bump fade.
And I can hit threes. Oh, I can take you off the dribble, make a play for somebody else off the bounce, make passes off the bounce, going to man. The variety of what he's doing offensively, had no idea that he had a repertoire. I thought he was limited to I can shoot threes, and okay, I can handle it a little bit for a 7-footer to the point where I can do some gimmicky stuff in a pick and roll. Defensively, I'm non-existent. What they said about him defensively was don't expect anything on that side.
I was about to say that's been the area for me. He's been most impressive is his defense, like the high 4-5 pick and roll, the passes, like he's had really good moments and he's had bad moments as well with the ball handling and the high pick and roll. So like that's a thing that they're still working out, right? He still leads the team in turnovers, so that's the thing. That's something that's still working out. But as far as his versatility and his ability to play. Have a versatile skill set. You're absolutely right. He's been better than advertised, right? But I think they have to find a balance as far as how much of that they're going to lean into, and I think at times they lean into it a little bit too much, and I think that's kind of affect Trey Donaldson's game a little bit, but. I think it's a balance they're gonna have to work out and find moving forward. I know you were getting to that question, but as far as how good is Danny Wolf, I think he's a good basketball player. He's a good basketball player, and he has the ability to affect the game in different ways.
So here's why I asked that question, Daniel. They were talking about him, Billis in the broadcast. They were talking about him as one of the best players in the Big Ten on the broadcast. They were talking about him in those terms, in that context. Do the Basketball Insider with Tim McCormick, which will publish later on tonight. Be on the lookout for that, folks. Tim called him an all Big Ten player. Thinks that he can be says he can be an NBA player, first round pick in next year's draft. He said, I don't necessarily think this year's draft. But next year's draft, he said I could see him being a first round pick. I didn't even expect that to be not either of those to be conversations for Danny Wolf. I was like, no way. Like the defensive side, they said you're gonna get your block shots and rebounds from Vlad. You're not gonna get it. And then I look up what's the Iowa game. What do you have? 5? One of those games might
5 in the first half.
Yeah, 5 blocks and 12 rebounds. One of those games. I was like he's doing. I find myself in all these games tweeting or saying Danny Wolf's doing it all.
Well, I wouldn't say all the games. So I think it's more matchup driven. Like
okay,
you mentioned Iowa, you mentioned Wisconsin, you mentioned the couple. Those are favorable matchups. It's a matchup driven thing.
Okay, okay, I'm with you, and this is where I'm pumping the brakes. I'm not ready to say all Big Ten NBA. I'm ready to say he could be. I'm ready to say he could be all Big Ten. I'm ready to say he could be an all Big Ten player. Things that I wouldn't even be in the conversation for me based on the description before.
Yeah.
But I'm with you saying I'm not ready to go all in until I see him do it for a longer period.
Yeah.
But to you, I wonder if you're even ready to go there with me. Do you think he could ever be an all Big Ten guy? Could ever be a first round pick?
So I've said this to you before. When it comes to basketball, I never deal in absolutes. I never say a guy can't do something or a team can't become something or can't achieve something, right? Because with the right amount of work, the right preparation, the right perseverance, with the right skill set, you can do a lot in this game. So I don't ever want to say anybody can't do anything. But watching him and looking at his profile compared to the bigs you see in the NBA and the bigs, especially the ones that are getting drafted in the first round, his skill set is pretty good, but his athletic profile isn't that of a first round NBA big draft pick. So, but like I said, I don't want to say he can't do anything. I'm not the end all be all on how good a guy can get, right? Like I believe, because I believe that, hopefully, all these guys achieve what they want to achieve in the game. But I think we got to pump the brakes a little bit. I think as far as his successes right at this point, I'm not saying that's how it'll be his entire time in Michigan, but at this point, it's a more matchup-driven thing. And I think you kind of saw that a little bit against Arkansas, where he had a stretch where he got going, so it made his numbers look better. But for the most part, you know, especially the first half of that game, and you know, a good stretch of that game, you know, the Arkansas bigs were I don't want to say that their guards dominated the scoring, but their bigs were killing us on the glass and gave us problems. So it's a matchup driven thing right now with him. And I think as he plays more basketball, as he plays more Big Ten games, especially that narrative, or that, like David said, I hate the word narrative, but that fact or whatever can change as we move forward to more basketball he plays. So I don't want to say he can't be anything, but as of now, I don't see him being a first round draft pick. But as far as all Big Ten, sure, there's 3 all Big Ten teams. He can make one of them for sure.
You know, I guess for me, and I hear what you're saying. I think we need to see him in more matchups before we jump in. But I guess I wasn't as dissuaded from my belief by the Arkansas game. He was a rebound. A rebound and an assist from a triple-double in that game. You know, he had 9 rebounds and 9 assists in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt like this was a contest where both Danny and Trey, or Danny or Trey. And this is kind of where the role definition question comes into play. Danny and Trey, or Danny or Trey, somebody needs to be more aggressive in the most adverse moments of the game, in the second half of that game, where things are totally unraveling and the team's falling apart and they go down 18, and nobody really took the reins when things were falling apart. Now, that's either your best player or your point guard. You know, are they one and the same? Is that Trey Donaldson or is that Danny Wolf? I don't know.
Yeah.
Part of me says it should be Trey Donaldson, but is it Danny? I mean, I think that's a question that they need to ask. I think that's something that they need to figure out, because it didn't happen at a point where I think it would have been really helpful for it to. Now, they came back and had an opportunity to win.
Yeah.
But it probably shouldn't have got to the point where they were down 18.
Yeah, no, I think, first of all, like when you're having those stretches in the game where your team is turning the ball over, I think for most coaches and especially when you have a dominant point guard, you kind of get the ball in his hands and slow the game down a little bit, especially for a couple possessions, slow the team down. Hey, let's get organized. Let's run a couple long sets, long systems, get the ball moving and settle down a little bit, right? But the way Michigan's offense is designed to push pace, and then it's also built in for Danny to be put in situations where he's making direct passes for back doors or direct passes to guys coming off certain actions to get specific shots, right? But in this system, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily the case for the point guard in the system, because they realize they have a unique ball player in Danny. So they put him in those positions. And just in my experience, coaching and playing is normally difficult unless your point guard has a high IQ or has a unique skill set, a la Steph Curry or Jamal Murray, or I'm using NBA examples, so I think everybody in the chat can understand that, right? It becomes difficult to play with a ball dominant, a ball handling big, right? That's not playing out of the post. He's playing in guard oriented areas of the floor. So you have to, for Trey Donaldson and a couple of other guys, you have to figure out a way to play with a guy like that. Like you can't sit back and let him, like, okay, I'm just going to watch. No, like, okay, now Danny's done this thing a couple of times, and now it's starting to get a little helter-skelter. Hey, I'm going to get this ball. We're going to slow it down. Hey, let's run whatever our system is to get us motion and get us moving and get the ball moving, get a good shot. So And you're right. At times, the point guard does need to step in and hey, this is my ball. We kicked it around the gym 2-3 times in a row. This is my ball. Let's get us into something and get us into a good set, get us a good possession, right? But like I said, when you have a guy that has a license, though, if he gets it off the rim or if the ball, if his outlet to him, he can push and do his thing. It makes it hard because now it's multiple voices. So you have to. It's something they're going to have to figure out moving forward if they want to navigate those tough moments.
Well, it's they got to be intentional about that. I mean, they got to be intentional about it from a role definition standpoint, and they got to be intentional about it from a philosophical standpoint too, because their philosophy is we're getting shots up quick. That's part of why you empower everybody, including your 7-foot power forward, to bring it up court. And hey, if it's a quick shot, get it up, because they're trying to get shots up quick and take advantage of the cross matches as they get down the floor. That's what they do. We get a shot up quick before they get a chance to adjust defensively. It's counterintuitive for them to run a set. They're not trying to do that.
Right.
So for the point guard to say, hey, let's slow it down, let's run a set, is running counter to what they are.
Not really, because they've shown that they can win multiple ways. That's one thing that's a strength of theirs, and which is a credit to the coaching staff, right? And the credit to the guys on the team as well. The way the roster constructed, they've won, like the game against Wisconsin was what, 67-63, right? They've won games in the 60s, they've won games in the 70s, they won games in the 90s. So they've shown that they can win multiple ways. So if you see that this is a game where somebody has to go get the ball and take control of what we're doing, we may have to slow it down a little bit. They can do that. They have 2 7-footers. That's the beauty of having 2 7-footers. We can get up and down because one of our 7-footers can run and he's fluid. He can get up and down. Well, both of them can really, or we can slow it down and play through Vlad. So you have to be able to, if you want to win a Big Ten championship, if you want to make the tournament, if you want to win the national championship or make a run, you have to be able to do both. You're not going to be able to play one way.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. I agree with you. What I'm saying is they gotta, to me, not being a coach, but I think one of the things they got to say, if we're talking about this as a Trey Donaldson thing, then I think they got to tell Trey, hey Trey, you got to disrupt what we're trying to do routinely. This is what we want to do most of the time, but this is not most of the time right now. Stuff is falling apart. All right, blow that up. We need you to go get the ball, slow us down in these situations. We gonna run some offense now. So this is one of those times where we're gonna get away from what we do routinely, and now you go be a point guard and
playing positionless,
right? And
right, that's Sam. That's not just a Michigan thing, right? Most teams who try to play this way, whether it's the NBA or college, most teams who play fast, the ball is hopping, there's not really a dominant lead guard or really a true point guard. Just we have a guy that initiates, but we also have other guys that can initiate. That's a common issue that that basketball teams that are constructed that way face, right? Who's going to settle us down? Who's going to be our initiator and our main guy when we need it the most? So, like you said, I hopefully Trey Donaldson, I would prefer it be my point guard because we can always get the ball to Danny in advantageous areas once we cross half court. But I really don't want my 7-footers working that hard to cross half court. I don't want my 7-footer blasting the ball up the floor 2, 3, 4 times in a row. Now you look up, he's winded. You know why? Because he ain't built to do that. He ain't built to do that.
Vlad checking himself out. Got beat down the court. Was I was like, hey, thank you, coach.
And you wonder why Danny he'll have a couple plays where he's like, man, this guy, that's a hell of a move. That's a hell of a pass. And then like his next 3, he rifling them to the guy and eating popcorn in the second row. He's tired. Like that's not a normal sequence of plays for a 7-footer. No matter how skilled he is, how good he is, that's not a normal sequence of plays, 4 or 5 plays where I'm blasting it, initiating it. Like that's a lot. So
before we get out of here, people want you to sort of assess Roddy. If you notice, when they need a bucket, he's been drawing. He's been drawing it up for Roddy.
Yeah,
he is the, if you want to call it, their go get it guy, their isolation guy. Now, I guess I didn't want to call him out. They've been giving like some action going to the rim.
that's the guy. Yeah, you want to get him going downhill.
Yeah, they get him going downhill. But what do you think of Roddy? Their usage of Roddy, his role. I mean, how would you assess his game and his impact right now?
I like the role they have for him. He has to be more intentional and more the ball has to mean more to him right now, right? Like he can score, he can fill it up, he can get downhill, he can make open shots, but he has to lock in a little bit more when it comes to his ball handling and his decision making. I think if he cleans those areas up, because right now him and Danny are leading the team in turnovers right now. Now, like you just said, a lot of the actions flow through them. A lot of the stuff that they do go through both of those guys. So you expect a couple turnovers. But I think for him, his turnovers are sometimes really careless turnovers that you're like, man, what was that? You know what I mean? So I think if he eliminates some of those plays and kind of locks in more, honestly, Sam, you'd rather get up a shot than some of these turnovers that we're having. Like, yeah, I'd rather us just miss a shot and have a chance to offensive rebound than some of these turnovers we're having in some of these moments. But I think if he cleans those things up, you'll see a lot better player from Roddy Gill. I think his aggression, his ability to make outside shots, his strength as a guard when he's putting the ball on the floor, attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line, those can all be positives and can supplement what Wolf is doing from a playmaking standpoint. That can really put them in advantageous positions. They just have to cut down on the turnovers, obviously.
What do you think of this Oklahoma matchup coming up?
It's gonna be interesting. I watched Oklahoma once this year. I've been meaning to do some film study on them moving forward because they've had some pretty nice wins so far. But I know they're gonna have good guard play. I know a couple of kids that have come out of DFW area that have went there over the last few years, so they're gonna have good guard play. They're gonna be athletic. So we're gonna see what we're gonna see. I think as far as the Michigan schedule so far, they're probably gonna be the best team we've played so far. So we'll see.
All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Steady Dropping Dimes. We brought you a lot. We brought you a smorgasbord, to use DG's word. Brought you a smorgasbord. Brought you a little Borges.
Unfortunately.
Brought you a little Zeke. Gave you a little insight into the OC. A little insight into the defense. Brought you a little Zeke said, "Oh, we on their ass. We got them at halftime. Game's over at halftime."
We still working through some kinks in it, knowing when the anger translator is supposed to take over and all that. Z gonna be right though. We're gonna be good.
Yeah, they got those quiet assassins on this. He's a lot like Will in that way. Like a dude, he's that that soft spoken, clean cut dude, but they really, if you talk to him, oh yeah, they really
if you talk so long enough, it come out.
Then it come out right. Right. So no, that's cool. It's cool to see. Really proud of Zeke. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Get those likes up. Tell your friends about Droppin Dimes because we're always dropping them after the new year. After the new year. I haven't forgot. Somebody said, didn't you say you're gonna get Liz on? Because she's a Commanders fan. And so yeah, I'm still gonna do that. Still gonna do that. It's gonna happen. Y'all laughing like I'm not. Listen, I followed through.
Where's Chili?
See, that's not on me. That part's not on me. That's on Zeke, who was.
Where's Zeke at? Zeke been missing for like 2 weeks now.
That's the other Zeke. That's the Zeke. Zeke.
You know what I'm starting to think? I'm thinking Chili and Zeke are brother and sister, like the Undertaker and Kane was brothers.
Yeah, that not Zeke Berry. That's
no, yeah. But you know Undertaker and Kane on WWE.
Yeah,
Not quite.
He did say she was gonna call in on the show or she was gonna make an appearance. You did say that, Zeke. We haven't seen Chili. Even after they beat Ohio State, we didn't see Chili. I thought that for sure we were gonna see Chili at that point. Like, man.
It's all propaganda. Can't believe Zeke. Can't trust him.
Come on, Zeke. Anyway.
It's been another good one.
We appreciate you. As always, folks, we'll see you on the next edition of Steady Dropping. And don't forget that discount code at Underground Printing, undergroundshirts.com, online or in-store, SamWebb20. Take advantage while you can. I forgot to mention 50% off. 50% off over at the MichiganInsider.com. That what are they calling it? They're calling it the Transfer Portal Loser, as a bunch of the portal visitors are going to be making their way in the coming weeks. Got a lot of intel flowing over on the MichiganInsider.com. You would have been up to speed on Chip Lindsey when people were throwing out names like Dan Mullen and Brian Greasy. We were telling you the real names.
No thanks.
Right? You would have been up to speed on that if you were with us over on the MichiganInsider.com. So that deal is going on. So take advantage of it while you can over there on TMI. I will put that in the chat right now. So let me put that link in the description and in the chat. Give me 1 second. I'm going to paste it here for you. It is 50% off, but only for a limited time.
80% when you use code 2Strap.
No, it is not. This is the link. Yep, there it is. And you see it right there. And I am also adding it here.
Hold on. I'm a cybersecurity professional in my day job, Sam. That you can't be adding links to the chat.
Why not?
It looks sketchy.
Why can't I add links to the chat?
I'll just play it.
Oh. Yeah, that's
it just the way it looks. We got to find a way to better do that. That looks crazy.
This is the link to the 50% off deal over on the MichiganInsider.com. If you are not a member, you need to join the family. Join the family. Come on home if you used to be a member.
Yeah, and if you sign up before 5:30, you get dinner with Sam. So
and they said that
that's what I heard. That's a new promotion that we're going with. If you sign up before, let's make it before 4:40. You sign up before 4:40, dinner with Sam on Sam, of course, and you don't even need to use a 2-strap code because
They say the Ryan Day code gets you. AK say the Ryan Day code gets you 100% off Cottonelle toilet paper.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. We got to get out of here, folks. We'll see you next time on the next edition of Steady Dropping Dimes.